Hey everyone, I'm Ryan Dolley here with GoodData, and I am joined right now by Tomas Karbe. Tomas and I just got done presenting here at Tech Show Frankfurt, all about the intersection of analytics, AI, and engineering or analytics as code. So it was a awesome presentation, I have to say, super exciting. Tomas, why don't you tell us a little bit about what it is that you've built using those three things?
Yeah, sure. Let me do that. So, what we built is basically tooling in Python that allows us to synchronize a workspace into our code repository. So, um, we synchronize it. We get the whole workspace into the repository, and then we decompose it. So, we have a whole structure there that we can afterwards modify, and when it's modified, we can push it back in.
Yeah, and what that does for you then is, it allows you to pull the metadata for the entire BI environment into a coding tool, and in your case, you're using Cursive, so it's AI enabled coding, and then from there, you can work with the AI to make changes to the environment, change really anything, right? The content in the environment, the security in the environment, the build metrics, all of that via AI, and then load it back into BI. Now, that may sound really simple, but actually, the process that you went through in order to get the expected behavior out of the I think was quite involved and quite interesting. So, could you describe a little bit of because you can't just pull down all this metadata, ask the AI to do something, and get a meaningful result, right? You'll get junk. So, what did you have to do to guide the AI to make it give you accurate outputs?
Yeah. So you first have to understand, I think, what are the shortcomings of AI right now, at least. And those shortcomings are mostly you get garbage when you stuff too much information in, and when your request is too complex. So you want to work with a process that actually helps the AI to do exactly what it needs to do and not more.
Yeah.
And so what's part of that is cutting the problem down, spoon feeding it exactly the right information by breaking it down to like supportive files, like markdown files that describe knowledge about good data, knowledge about how your repository is structured, knowledge about what's in your workspace in good data, knowledge about all of that. And so you give it knowledge, you have it break down the task, let the AI do that. And those tasks then are super specific and a very narrow focus. And with this narrow focus, the AI can actually produce valuable output. And so yeah, doing that over and over again is the secret sauce.
And it was quite, the way you described it, and you had a great slide kind of outlining the process of narrowing the way you work with AI and the way you narrow down the problem you're trying to solve, and you iterate with AI. And for example, if the AI gets something wrong, you discovered that the best thing to do is to actually help it find the answer and then add that answer into the instructions and documentation that's available to the AI.
Yeah.
So if it runs into the same problem again, it can go and it says, "Oh, here's a solution," right? It can solve it on its
You
own.
train it. You
Yeah.
train it up like an intern, right? Like an intern that ideally at some point becomes a senior engineer
Yep.
or whatever.
Yeah.
But you have to teach it how to work.
One of the things that you said that I thought was really interesting that I'd like to get your take on here for everybody is this idea that with the AI tooling we have today, and especially going forward, you may need to think less like a developer and an engineer and more like a product manager. What do you mean by that?
Well, the engineering is what you teach it, and so more and more of that the AI can do by itself. But what you now need to think about is all the context that you have to give it to really produce exactly the right product. And so even as an engineer, you get more and more into product thinking, into whom is this for, what problem am I solving, is this the easiest way to do it, is it fast, and then the engineering part of it is only like it's boiling down to the review very much. So you can see a lot that it produces, but you still have to look at what did it produce and is this good. That's where engineering quality still counts.
So we've talked a lot about the AI capabilities. What about good data made it possible for you to do this?
Yeah. I think that's a fundamental thing about good data, giving you giving you the tooling not just in a UI way, but via API, you can get everything that sits in GoodData. The data, the workspace, the metrics, the dashboards, the insights, everything into definitions that you can pull via API and then use version control on it like an engineer would. So this engineering-friendly analytics as code mindset
Yeah.
is key to that. Otherwise, you can't work like that.
That's awesome. I couldn't have said it better. Well, thank you, Tomas, for joining me at this presentation. It was great. Where can people catch up with you? Do you have a LinkedIn or a Substack or something? Or
I am on LinkedIn, of course, so people can find me on LinkedIn at Thomas Karbe, and they can write me an email, thomas.karbe@aklamio.com. Yeah, but I'm not active in
great.
YouTube or so.
And of course, you can always follow us on LinkedIn and at GoodData.com. So thanks for tuning in, everybody. Thanks for joining me, Tomas. It's an awesome presentation, great conference, and we'll see you next time. Bye.